One of the most challenging ways to make your game stand out, especially in a consistently packed genre, is through the visuals. Unlike gameplay mechanics or story beats that can be hidden within the experience's DNA, a title's presentation is the first facet you see. Therefore, when a game attempts to be bold and ambitious by distinguishing itself through its visual style, it can be a double-edged sword. There's no upcoming title that quite embodies this notion like Ultros, the psychedelic metroidvania developed by El Huervo. The vibrant and striking color palette has lingered in my head since its initial unveiling. However, I couldn't decisively determine if I was a fan of this. With that in mind, I decided to delve deeper into the peculiars of playing an early build and experiencing the gameplay within the cosmic setting firsthand. In Ultros, players follow a character who is awakened in the sarcophagus, a place where they presumably crash-landed and are now trapped in a loop within a black hole. This eerie location, often referred to as the cosmic uterus, serves as the dwelling of the demonic entity known as Ultros. Naturally, your objective is to uncover the mysteries of this place and perhaps find a way to escape the never-ending loop, which leads to exploration of the sarcophagus and interactions with various strange NPCs scattered throughout the otherworldly neon landscape. Within the limited time I spent playing, I ultimately focused on gameplay, and Ultros left a swift and lasting impression. Cross-range combat encounters are enhanced by fluid movement, ensuring that battles don't overstay their welcome. The enemies appear to have reliable telegraphed attacks, and a reasonably quick reaction speed is required to prevail since there is a minimal delay when executing standard strikes. On the other hand, charged attacks are used to break shields on specific foes, requiring a noticeable amount of time to execute. Balancing the use of these two contrasting methods of attacks becomes a central focus within the opening hour. What's even more intriguing is its inclusion of juggling, allowing you to send enemies flying in your preferred direction. These collisions with the environment and other nearby enemies add an extra layer of depth to the combat that I hope continues to be cleverly integrated into later areas. The audio design also deserves praise, featuring visceral, gooey sound effects that accompany your attacks. Although I wish the attacks themselves provided a more tactical impact, they alone give each brief victory a satisfying punch. Additionally, there's a counter mechanic that allows you to slide under foes and retaliate with satisfying timing. If it wasn't already evident, Ultros' combat stands out the most, but this isn't to say that the other elements are lacking. Exploration, at least in the early stages, seems solid, with a functional map and straightforward navigational puzzles that add a touch of memorability to each area. Moreover, there's a skill tree-like feature in the menus known as the Cortex, which relies on consuming the body parts of defeated enemies to unlock new abilities. These elements are relatively self-explanatory, offering immediate familiarity to genre fans, while the visual distinction of the UI in areas is what provides a unique element. However, as much as Ultros embraces the eccentricity of its presentation, I hope there are enough variations in general color schemes among different areas to prevent maps from blending together too frequently. Additionally, as a more personal quibble, the font used in dialogue can be somewhat overwhelming in its presentation. At times, it can be a bit challenging to read what characters are saying, with the visuals occasionally overshadowing the gameplay experience, albeit to a minor extent. The font used in the menus and such was much more accessible. In the few hours I played, Ultros has already been captivating. While I have limited information to assess or conclude regarding the narrative or level design, as these aspects require more time to fully grasp, there's still a decent gameplay foundation found in its early moments. However, the combat has truly won me over. The fluidity of your attacks and straightforward movements make Ultros an intriguing action metroidvania worth keeping an eye on ahead of its release on PS4, PS5, and PC on February 13th, 2024. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Lazy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Lazy Pixel.